With this latest major pullback in the crypto market, does this mean that the bull market is over? With a government shutdown pending and the latest inflation data just about to hit, the big question is, where are prices headed next? Well, in this video, as always, we're tracking this bull market with the latest price action, and let's take a look at what is going on and the key levels to watch. Then, where are we likely headed over the next 3 months and why the rebound is going to be just as explosive. And then we'll finish up with the biggest developments from all around the world in just the past couple of weeks. Okay, first up with the crazy price action and the latest inflation data just about to hit, let's take a look at what is going on. Okay, so we're jumping in with the latest price action and we're on Bitcoin USD on the daily, and what do we see? Well, we just had this most recent flash crash in the crypto market sending prices down, and the big thing I want to point out is that this really isn't as bad as it seems. Now, from the absolute top, this is just a 12% pullback. Now, historically, Bitcoin has done 30%, 40% pullbacks, so 12% really isn't that bad. Now, yes, the altcoins have been hit harder. They have done the 30 to 40% pullbacks, but let me just show you a very important chart. And this is probably the chart of the day. So what are we looking at? This is the 2017 bull market. So going back 8 years, and Bitcoin very much acted like an altcoin. So in the bull market, it's very common to do 30 to 40% pullbacks again and again and again. Now, obviously we are 8 years further on, so Bitcoin is much, much bigger and it's getting a lot less volatile. So right now it's just over a 10% pullback. However, this pretty much represents the altcoins. So that a lot of the altcoins are a lot newer, and this is where they are at right now. So you get these massive runs, and in a bull market, it's very, very common for your favorite top altcoins to do 30 to 40% pullbacks, even in a bull market. And the 2017, we're just going through this phase here. Exactly what had happened in September, a big flush out. A lot of the altcoins are around 30 to 40% down, and a big flush out before the next massive run in Q4. So this, for me, is the chart of the day. It's a great reminder that this is nothing new to crypto, and if you want massive, massive upside, you've got to stomach big 30 to 40% drops. Now, just checking in with the seasonality, and I've added in the bull market years of 2017, 2021, and 2025. And in 2017, look, September was a pullback month of 7%. And even though it feels really bad right now, Bitcoin is still actually up on the month. It's really not that bad. And then when it comes to October, we are expecting a massive reversal. So 2017 followed a 50% move by another 50% move with a 40% move. So crazy blow off there. In 2021, this cycle did finish earlier because of the crazy COVID printing that had happened before, but still a 40% rebound for October. Now, yes, Ethereum has been hit harder. So let's just take a look, adding in 2017 and 2021. So there was a 20% pullback in 2017, a 12% pullback here, and even though it feels much worse, it's only been a 10% pullback for Ethereum. Then October, interestingly, was flat for 2017, but it was a massive November, December, and January. And then in 2021, Ethereum did get a massive run in October, another good run in November, and the cycle did finish there. So as you can see, what's going on right now really isn't out of the ordinary. It's not really that bad just yet, and the rebound is going to be just as explosive. Now, when it comes to the 4-year cycle, this is a blend of the last 3 cycles, and it's just another way of looking at the data. And yes, we've just gone through this last pullback here, bringing us down to about 110. However, we're going to be really close to this local bottom. Now, if inflation data comes in hotter than expected, could we get a flash crash to the 100,000? Absolutely possible. However, you really do not want to be out of the market for the next 3 months. And let's just split out the 3 cycles, look at it in a slightly different way. You can see this cycle is most similar to the 2017 cycle, and around this period, it's very volatile. A little bit earlier in the month, there was a flash crash to the equivalent of 100,000. So there's nothing to say that we couldn't just get one last liquidation event here. However, this may be the last best great buying opportunity for this entire 4-year cycle. So stay strong and stay positive. And I'm just going to quickly cover some of the top headlines just to show you that there is a crypto revolution going on right now, even though at times we have these big fear events. This is the Bitcoin ETF and how it absolutely crushed traditional finance. So these were the biggest ETF launches in history until Bitcoin came along. And this is what's going on in the market right now. Just a friendly reminder. In the UK, regulators have lifted the ban on crypto ETNs. These are exchange traded notes for retail investors. So this is good and bad news. The good news is that it's very slowly progressing here in the UK. Bad news is we still don't even have ETFs. And my brokerage account said to me that if I want to use these exchange traded note products, I have to accept the term that it can only be 10% of my money, which is, let's face it, a load of bull poo. So no thanks, I'll stick to MicroStrategy and Coinbase for my tax-free account. But the UK is slowly becoming more friendly, but we are definitely still behind the time. On the flip side, in the US, the SEC has approved a generic listing standard for faster crypto ETF approvals. So instead of it taking 9 months to a year, things can now get approved much faster. And we're going to see a whole bunch of new ETFs coming to market just next month. This is just to say that the first multi-asset, so a little bit like an index, has been approved. This one contained, by buying this ETP, you're essentially investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. So the first index is being approved, which is great. Great news for Avalanche, as South Korea's first ever stablecoin has chosen to use Avalanche. Great news for them. Franklin Templeton, a $1 trillion asset manager, has used XRP for their tokenized lending offerings. Great for XRP, and just showing mass adoption, and these mega financial institutions are getting on board. We have Google partnering with Coinbase to allow the AI protocols to be able to use stablecoins. And this way, AI is going to be able to buy and sell and move money around at lightning speed. So this probably by itself is going to be massive. And then again, Morgan Stanley, another multi-billion dollar asset manager, is going to be offering Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana coming in 2026. A little bit behind the time, but again, just showing you mass adoption is coming. And finally, Santander, a massive bank, has opened crypto trading in Germany, and this is for retail investors. And they're also going to be launching in Spain soon. So it's all happening. Stay positive, stay strong. With this latest major pullback in the crypto market, does this mean that the bull market is over? Well, as we saw with an excellent chart, is that just a few years ago, 30 to 40% pullbacks in Bitcoin was very, very common in a bull market. And it just means that today it's the altcoins. I think the inflation data that's just about to hit will either send the markets to the absolute local bottom, or if it's a great reading, then the bottom is likely in and the explosive rebound will begin. And finally, the good news is that yes, crypto can drop very, very quickly. However, as soon as the market realizes that the bottom is in, the rebound is going to be explosive as well. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. So stay strong, stay positive, and this may have been the last great buying opportunity of this entire 4-year cycle. If you do have any burning questions, then simply use super thanks below. However, just remember to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments. We are trying out the new super thanks commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use super thanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you soon for October. Bye for now.